nityah shashvatoyam puranah na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Even if this body is killed, na hanyate, this atma is not killed. So even if the body is killed, hanyamane sharire, on killing of the body, the atma is not killed, because atma is beyond the cycle of birth and death, and it is never born nor it can be destroyed. It never comes into existence or ceases to exist. It is bhavitavana bhuyaha. So it never ceases to exist, means it's always there. It is eternal. It is unborn. It is immutable. Uh, and it is not destroyed and the body is killed. That's what in the last shloka we have seen. And today we have to start with 2.21. Sorry, that slide is missed for me. 21 is not there. From 22, all the other shlokas are there. So please see the book for the 21st shloka. Bhagini, patati va?
Prabhakant will do.
Prabhakar Mahoday. Astu. Prabhakar Mahoday, कृपया पठतु.
वेदा विनाशि नित्यं येनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति
हन्तिकम्. उत्तमं महोदय. So वेदा अविनाशिनं नित्यं यः एनम् अजम् अव्ययं कथं सः पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकम्. यः, one who, enam means him means atma. Here he is describing about the atma, so he is addressing him as him. He is using pronoun. So yaha enam, one who understands, Veda is understands this atma as avinashinam, imperishable, ajam, who is unborn, avyayam, who will never uh, deteriorate. Oh, you can't hear anything, Bhagini?
No,
Rajesh?
Bhagini, we can hear you, Bhagini. You can
We
continue.
can hear. We can hear.
I received a
We
message.
can hear, yes.
Okay, Bhagini, please check your system. Okay. So, Krishna is telling Arjuna that, oh Arjuna, this one who knows that this Atma is imperishable and it is ajam avyayam, beyond birth and death, and immutable. It cannot change. Avyaya, it cannot change. Immutable. And how such a, this is the swarup of Atma, and how one can kill, oh Partha, saha purushaha katam kam ghatayati hanti kam. So any purusha, how can he kill this Atma when no one can kill it? Atma is beyond the birth and death. Nothing can cause harm to Atma. When it is so, then how can you kill Bhishma Drona? Why you are thinking that you may have to kill Bhishma Drona? So what you may kill is Bhishma's body. So what you may kill is just the present bodies of Bhishma. Bhishma must be having several bodies in the past, and he may get several bodies in future. He may had so many names. He had so many names in past, and he may have so many names in future. But now, right now, in front of you, that body, the Bhishma, is wearing a costume named Bhishma. So this person, he is wearing a costume called as Bhishma. So even if that Bhishma's body is dead, Bhishma is not dead. So you don't worry. So hey Arjuna, fight the war with full knowledge so that there will be no sinful reaction. Krishna is telling him. So don't worry, you are not killing Bhishma or Drona. So it is like if we knock the snake's nest, so we may destroy, we may harm that nest, but we cannot do anything to the snake. So we may at the most destroy that nest, and snake moves away somewhere to find a new nest. So nothing will happen to that, because in the same way, for the Atma also, even if the body is knocked, even if the body is poked or killed or hurt, but nothing will happen to Atma. So this Atma changes costumes and names several times, but he remains imperishable. He is never hurt or destroyed. He cannot be. Yes, thank you, Bhagini. So we say that sun Suryodaya happens, so that his son is born. That means he was not there yesterday. It's not so, no. We say Surya Huttuttane, sun is born. But sun is born means there's no meaning for that. He was there yesterday also. And we say sunset. Sets means also he drowns. So does he really drown? What he does, when he sun sets here, he will be eliminating so many other countries. He will be eliminating there. In the same way, the Atma leaves this body to play its role in some other bodies, in some other costumes. So it's as simple as that. That's why Krishna is telling Atma will not undergo any vikara. All these childhood, adulthood, old age, all these things are only for the bodies, not for the Atma. That's why, hey Arjuna, know this fact, have the full knowledge about Atma and fight the war so that you will not have any guiltiness or you will not get any sin, says Krishna. Mahodaya, agre pathatu.
अस्तु महोदय वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
Huh. Now, as it is, all of us know that Arjuna's mind has become very weak, very sensitive. So now, even though he understood to some extent the Atma Swarupa, but again he is doubtful. He is thinking that, okay, so even if I kill them, it's only their bodies, but nothing will happen to the Bhishma or Drona. But he starts thinking, when the Atma changes the costumes, so will it suffer? Will it feel pain? So will my Bhishma Drona feel they have to struggle because of me? They have to uh, hurt. They should get. Will they get hurt? Will they get pain because of me? So that is the doubt that comes in Arjuna's mind, and Krishna is replying for that also. So he says, Yatha Vasamsi jirnani vihaya yatha, like how jirnani vasamsi, jirnani worn out, vasamsi clothes, yatha, like how vihaya, casting off those worn out clothes, naraha, a person, a man, aparani namani grinhati. So yatha जीर्णानि वासांसि विहाय naraha aparani navani grinhati, like how a person casts off his worn out clothes and wears new clothes, tatha, like that, dehi atma जीर्णानि sharirani vihaya, casting off the worn out bodies, Anyani Navani Sayati. It wears new bodies, means it wears new costumes. So, Krishna is telling it is as simple as that. It is as effortless as that. So, your Bhishma Drona will not feel any hurt. It is so simple. It's such a simple act that we do it every day. It is like that. But we people have a very different, horrible, terrible, cruel picture about the death in our minds. And all of us, naturally, that fear is there. But Krishna is making it so natural. It is natural. Krishna is making it so simple, and he's driving away all the fear that we people have in our minds. So he's telling that if you wear new cloth, will you feel sad? Instead, we feel happy and we feel more self-confident when our clothes are new or fresh or clean. So we feel very happy. We don't feel sad when we throw away our old clothes. So, but who cries, or we don't cry for the old clothes, no? Who cries? The Adnyani cries. One who doesn't have knowledge, he cries for that. It's like for a baby, the mother changes if the cloth is wet or dirty, the mother changes the cloth. But baby cries. Baby is not aware why mother is changing. It is playing something, and mother is forcefully changing the clothes. And baby is crying, but then also mother doesn't care for that and she changes the clothes. In the same way, even if Adnyani is crying for the life, the mother, like God or Krishna, he changes the costumes without caring for the human cries, because Krishna knows that one who cries is Ajnani. He doesn't have sufficient knowledge, so he is crying. So it is like a machine. Our body is like a machine. So suppose we have a mixer in our house, an old mixer. It is working for us from, suppose from 10-15 years it is working, and it has worked so much and it has become worn out. What we people do, we try to yes, we try to replace the spare parts as much as possible. We try to repair it as much as possible. But one day comes when it goes beyond repair and it stops. Then what we do, we throw it out and we purchase new mixer grinder. Same is the thing for the Atma and Sharira. So whenever uh, our bodies, when what we do, if uh, we are sick, what we do, we try to get the treatment, and also we also try to replace the spare parts like knee replacement, kidney replacement, or heart transplant, all those things we do, kidney transplant, heart transplant, eye donation. As much as possible we try to repair it, replace it. But then also the time comes in such a way that in spite of all the replacements, the body stops working. So then no choice is left for the Atma, that it has to change this body and it has to go to other body. Like how we replace faulty parts of a machine, Atma replaces faulty bodies. That's why it goes to other costume, or it goes to other body. So it is as simple as that. So when we see this explanation, we may feel that yes, yes, it is right. This body has worked for so many years for us. So one day it has to stop. We agree. And Krishna says that Jirnani Vasansi, that is those who are old and those who are worn out, so that is justified. But we see so many deaths around us of young children and adults and youth. We see so many deaths around. And how does this shloka explains that? How is that that those bodies are not jirna, they are not old, they are not worn out, but then also we see deaths. So the deaths of adults or youth or children also. So this can be explained in a different way. It's like every person, every creature, in fact, every living being. So when it comes to existence, when it is born, it is its lifetime is fixed. In Patanjali's Yoga Shastra, it says that every creature has got fixed number of breaths. So only those many breaths it breathes, and then the breathing stops. So that's how, suppose for a person it may be for 20 years only, because according to the karma siddhanta, he may be another role play to play in different family or in different bodies. So he has to leave this, and which we don't understand. So it is like warranty period. So when we take some gadgets like mobile phone or laptop or our washing machines, fridge, they all have different warranty periods. And if we take our teakwood sofa sets, so all have different warranty periods. Some has for 3 years, some has 10 years, some has 15 years. If we take sofa sets, so they come beyond 25 years, 30 years. If it is of good wood and maintained well, I have seen teakwood sofa set from which is 50-year-old and very good, in good condition. So because the warranty period of each gadget changes, so mixer or our mobile phone, they say it is 4 to 5 years or less than that sometimes. So mobile phone cannot cry why sofa set is having so much of warranty period and why I have only 3 years. It's not like that. Each individual is having warranty period, and when the time comes, that person or that creature or that gadget, it has to stop working. And that doesn't mean that that person dies, but he will take birth somewhere. He has got some other role to play in some other costume, so he has to leave this land. So we say that he was just 20-year-old, 21-year-old, body was not worn out. And how come this death happened? So we have seen, if we take the example again, the example of clothes, our saris may be very new, but sometimes what happens, while ironing, it gets burnt and then we throw it. And then for agarbatti also, sometimes there may be some holes, we can't wear those things. And for so many other reasons, our new clothes get damaged and then we throw them. In the same way, in the body of a 20-year youth, inside, uh, to see the outside look wise, he may be strong, he may be healthy, but we don't know inside what part is damaged. And when the atma feels that this body is not fit to stay here, then atma decides to quit that body. So we may feel that he was so young and how this happened, but if that body is not fit for atma stay, then atma decides to change that body. This is how the atma changes the costumes. That's what Krishna says. It is as simple as changing the costumes. So you need not have to grieve for this, says Krishna. uh, Next, Mahodaya, Patatu.
अस्तु महोदय। नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः।
हाँ, धन्यवाद महोदय। न एनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि, न एनं, एनं means him means atma. Chindanti shastrani, shastrani, weapons cannot cut this atma. Na enam dahati pavakaha, pavakaha means fire, fire cannot burn this. Nacha enam kledayanti apaha, apaha water. Nacha enam, this atma, it cannot make this atma wet. And then nacha marutaha, wind. Nacha shoshayati, it cannot dry the atma. So Arjuna was very proud about his weapons. He had collected so many weapons like Gandiva, Pashupatastra, Agni Astra, Vayu Astra, and then Varuna Astra, and so many weapons. He went to Indraloka and collected so many weapons from Varuna, Agni, Yama, Indra, Vayu. From so many people, he had collected so many weapons. Gandiva itself, one arrow was equivalent to 1 lakh arrows, and that was such a unique weapon it was. And the Brahma had kept it for so many years, and he passed it on to Daksha Prajapati, and he kept it for some years, and then gave it to Varuna, and Varuna gave it to Agni, and Agni gave it to Arjuna. While that Khandava Prastha, they were converting it into Indraprastha. No, that time he had given it to Arjuna. So Arjuna is very proud about all these weapons. So he is thinking that this should not, he is thinking that his weapons are so powerful that they should not hurt the atma of Bhishma or Drona, because the weapons he had, the Varunastra, means once that is used, there used to be a rain in the enemy side, and then enemies used to find it very difficult to fight the war. If that Agni Astra, if it is struck, that bow is struck, and then there used to be so many arrows of fire at once and go and attack the enemies. And then Varunastra. Varunastra is rain, and then Agni Astra, and then Vayu Astra. Bhagini, the shloka is displayed. Someone had asked in the message, Vasamsi Jirani, that only I am doing now. And then Vayu Astra. So if that is used, then there used to be huge storm that used to disturb all the enemies and drive away the enemies. So he was very proud of all these weapons. So he started thinking that my weapons are so strong, so they may go and hurt the atmas also, they may cut the atmas also. So Krishna is telling, hey Arjuna, none of your weapons can harm the atma, because all your weapons are made up of this panchabhuta, these 5 elements, but atma is beyond all these materialistic things. So atma cannot be hurt by any of your weapons. So he's telling, nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha. So this atman is not cut by weapons, cannot be burnt by fire, or cannot be dissolved by water, or dried by the air. It cannot do anything to the atma. Mahodaya, agre patatu.
अस्तु महोदय। अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेदोष्योऽस्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः।
Huh. Yeah, Bhagini, she told that it's not displayed. Yeah, these are not in order. So please manage with the books. Whatever is there, I am displaying. Next time I'll bring them in order. Sorry for that. Okay. So achedyoyam. So the Atman is achedyaha, indivisible. And then adahyoham, the same which we read in the previous shloka, same thing he's repeating. Adahyoham, it cannot be burnt, it is non-combustible. And then akledyoham, that is, it cannot be made wet or insoluble. And ashosha evacha, nor dried by the air. So, and it is mityaha, it is permanent. And then uh, nityaha sarvagataha, it is all pervasive. So this Atma is immutable, unchangeable. It's not subjected to any change. So, suppose we go to a cinema hall, there will be a huge screen, and when the movie starts, we see so many sceneries on that. There may be tsunamis, there may be earthquakes, there may be wildfire, there may be fierce battle, there may be enemies poking each other with very sharp weapons. So many things we see on the screen, but nothing affects the screen. The screen remains as it is, even though so many fearful and horrible and so many things happen on the screen, but screen is unaffected. Screen never gets cut, or it never gets damaged, or it never gets any change because of the uh, movie things displayed on that. The Atma is same like that only. Even if we cut, we make it wet, or we dry the body, the Atma remains unaffected. And sarvagataha, that is, he's all pervasive, omnipresent, he's there everywhere. And then sthanuhu, immovable. And uh, except Atma, in this world everything moves, as we all know. Sun, moon, earth, everything moves, but Atma is immovable. It is like in a wheel of a bullock cart. At the center, in the inner wheel, there will be a stick, and the stick never moves, but it facilitates the movement of the wheel. In the same way, the Atma, he himself never moves, but he facilitates the movement of all these, not only the sun, moon, and earth, but the organisms also. So when Atma is within us, the body moves, but Atma doesn't move. And then he is achalaha, he is as fixed, as firm as a mountain. And then sanatanaha, he is ancient, he is very old. So this is the description of Atma. uh, Mahodaya, pathatu.
अस्तु महोदय।
I think
अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि।
uh, avyaktaha ayam, achintyaha ayam, avikaraha ayam uchyate. Tasmat evam viditva enam na anushochitum arhasi. Avyaktaha ayam. Ayam means he. So he is avyaktaha. You cannot express, you cannot show his picture, you cannot make his video. He is beyond all our imagination. And then achintyaha, you cannot guess his form, how is he, you cannot imagine how is he. And his form we cannot understand, he is ununderstandable. Because what we can guess is something that we can see, and then we can enhance it little bit here and there. We can, our guesswork, it can be little bit over the seen things, but Atma is something, that kind of thing we have never seen at all. So it is beyond our imagination, we cannot imagine it. And then avyaktaha, we cannot express, or we cannot show him and tell that this is Atma, this is the picture of Atma. We cannot do that. Achintyaha, we cannot imagine, or we cannot guess he is like this. And then avikaraha, avikaraha means for the body there are 6 vikaras, they are called as shadvikaraha. So that is janana, astitva, vruddhi, rupantara, and then vinasha, what is this? Vruddhapya and then Marana. So that is birth, existence, and then growth, and then changes, and then deteriorate, and then die. These are the six vikaras for every body. But for this Atma, these vikaras are not there. That's why it's called as Avikaraha. He is Avyaktaha, cannot be expressed, cannot be shown. He is Achintyaha, he cannot be guessed beyond our imagination. And Avikaraha, he does not undergo any of these vikaras that a body goes. That is, it doesn't have any childhood or adulthood or old age and death. It doesn't have all those things. Tasmat, therefore, enam means him, that is Atma, evam like this, viditva thinking him like this, na anushochitum arhasi. So you should not grieve or you should not feel sad, because this is the fact and this is the swarup of Atma. Atman is not grasped by sensual mechanism. It is beyond conception and unchangeable. So, O Arjuna, what you should do? Accepting Atma as such, do not grieve. So, you should have the full knowledge and then perform your duty. So, you have to fight the war, but have the full knowledge who is killing whom, and is really, are you killing this Bhishma or Drona? So, whom you are killing? What is that is getting death and what is not getting death? Have this full knowledge. That is the purpose of Krishna telling all these things. Mahodaya, patatu.
अस्तु महोदय।
Uh,
अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि।
Am. Atha cha enam nityajatam nityam va manyase mrutam. Tathapi tatha api tvam mahabaho na evam shochitum arhasi. Atha cha enam. So now Krishna is coming to Arjuna's platform and he is explaining him. Even if you don't understand what I am telling, or even if you don't agree that Atma is immortal, even if you think that Atma dies with the body and Atma is born with the body, Atma every time it dies with the body. Even if you think like that, then also, Tathapi, then also, Tvam, He Mahabaho, He the great warrior, you don't deserve to feel sad, because Krishna is telling, every day we see people dying around, every day we see people taking birth around, and we have seen that nobody is permanent in this world, not even a single person is alive from so many years. It's not that. And everyone who has taken birth must die. So it is the fact, even Krishna and Rama and so many people, those who have taken incarnation, those who have taken this body, so even they died, because it is the rule of the nature. So they have to cast off this body. That's why everyone must die, including the Avatara Purushas. Then everyone. So some may go early, some may take time. So that is the difference. And we cannot change this fact of the life. And we must accept this. We must accept the situation and go ahead. And simply, if we resist this, then we will be struggling with this and we will be feeling sad and we will be wasting our time in this sadness. So the thing is, we have to accept the fact. भगिनी महोदय अग्रे पठतु.
अस्तु महोदय। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् परिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि।
जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः, जातस्य हि ध्रुवः मृत्युः, ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मात् अपरिहार्ये अर्थे न tvam shochitum arhasi. So Krishna is telling, in the previous shloka he says that you should, Mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi, so you don't deserve the grief, you shouldn't feel sad for this, because jatasya hi dhruvaha mrityuhu, for the person who is born, death is certain, death is guaranteed, 100% guarantees. In the same way, mrutascha janma dhruvam. For the dead person, again rebirth is 100% guarantees. So one who dies, he has to come again. Tasmat, therefore, aparihare arthe. So in the matter of unavoidable circumstances, natvam shochitu marhasi. You shouldn't grieve because it's not in your hand, it is beyond our control, and you shouldn't feel sad for that. And this is the rule of the nature. So, how much ever we try, we cannot keep this body, we cannot make this body permanent, because the nature of the body is shad vikaratmaka. So it is having all the vikaras of birth, growth, and then old age, and then death, and it has to end in death only. That is the only way. So, and one more thing, so in the same way, like how a person who is born must die one or the other day, and in the same way, Mrutasya Janma Dhruvam, one who is dead, definitely he'll come back. There is no doubt in that. So, like how for a person who is born, death is guaranteed, in the same way, the dead for the dead person, birth is also guarantees. It is like taking a return ticket. So again, he has to come back, because there are so many desires in the living individuals, and they have to fulfill all those things. Our papa punya balance sheet is not neutralized. So till that time, a person has to come. There is an exception for this shloka, that is one who gets salvation, one who gets moksha, he will not come back. But to get moksha, it takes so many lives. So generally, all those who are died, they'll definitely come back. And then because it is like this death is like the interval between, in a movie there will be intermission or interval, no, for first part and the second part. It is like that, it is between two lives, this death is the interval. So the person or a individual goes out by one door, and he enters the same hall with the one more door. It is like that. So he has to come again to this loka only. That's why this is the fact. And what is wisdom here, what is smartness here? If the smartness is, if we can change the situations according to our wish, we should put our 100% effort and try it and change it according to our wish. If it is not possible, if it is beyond our control, and then we have to accept it as it is. So for this death, it is beyond human control, and it is in the control of God. So what we have to do, we have to accept it as it is, so that by doing so, we can save a lot of energy. Simply, if we are resisting it, if we are crying, then uh, we are just increasing ashanti in our hearts. We are losing our peace of mind. That's what Krishna is telling. So please, Mahodaya, read the next shloka.
अस्तु महोदय अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिवेदना
Ha. ಅವ್ಯಕ್ತಾದೀನಿ ಭೂತಾನಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಮಧ್ಯಾನಿ ಭಾರತ ಅವ್ಯಕ್ತ ನಿಧನಾನಿ ಏವ ತತ್ರ ಕಾ ಪರಿವೇದನಾ. So all these bhutani means creatures, living beings, they are avyakta, so they were not there before. And uh, Vyakta Madhyani Bharata, in the center period, they are seen, they are shown, and they'll not be there later also. Nidhanani Avyakta, again they become Avyakta, Aprakata, they disappear. So all these creatures, they were not there before, and they'll not be there afterwards, but only Madhya Vyaktani. So in the Madhya part, so in some period of time, they are found, they are seen, but they were not there before, and they'll not be there after. So it is like, I think we had taken the example of pot. So a potter makes a pot, keeps it on the table. So that pot was not there yesterday. It may not be there after a few years, but today it is there. So we can see it as a pot, but later it becomes a mud when it is broken. And many times we see dreams. So before going to bed, we're not aware of what dream we'll get today. And when we are experiencing the dream, so we experience so many things, so many joyous moments, sometimes some fearful moments, or sometimes some tragedy things may happen in the dream. But when we are awake, then we are not at all attached to those feelings. We feel that, oh, that was a dream, so which was not true. So in the same way is the experience of the atma when he is in this body. So all the emotions, all the feelings that are there, they are restricted only to the body. So atma, when it changes, so it becomes like a dream for the atma. Oh, in that, when I was in that costume, this thing had happened. But atma will be in some other costume by that time. So this life itself is like a dream. And one more example we can give is passengers. So when we travel, suppose we can suppose we are traveling to a very far place like Delhi. So it may take 2 3 days. So what happens? There may be so many by train if we are going. So many passengers come in between. So sometimes suppose we are traveling together for one day, then we may become very friendly to some of the passengers. So we may spend some joyous moments. We may share food, and we may share some memories and so many things. But they have to get down when the station comes, and we cannot sit and cry why they are getting down. So we are waiting for our destination, and we have to get down when our destination comes. Life is like that only. So we are all passengers. So each and everyone have our own destinations. So some person's journey may be for 6 hours, some person's journey is one day, and some person's journey may be for 3 days. So according to our destination, we people should get down. So that's what Krishna is telling here. Vyakta madhyani bharata, only in the middle these things are seen. So what you are seeing, this Bhishma Drona, it is just a small part of their lives. So the Atma, it goes into so many bodies and comes out of so many bodies, so many lakhs and lakhs of bodies, it is said. So this body is just is fraction of his journey. And for you also, for Arjuna also, it is just a fraction of your journey. So you need not have to worry for hurting or killing Bhishma Drona. So understand this fact, and then whatever may be the theory, but when you are wearing this costume, when you are today on this battlefield, one must perform the duty. Everyone must perform their duties, because even if atma is imperishable, but when the body dies, we don't take anything for belongings, our car or bungalows or bank balance, we don't take. But we take that balance sheet of papa and punya, so that is carried forward to the next life. So that's why we have to be very careful about it in performing our duties or hurting others or doing any sinful act. We should be very careful, because even though this life, this body is temporary, but atma is permanent, and atma is recording. Sakshi cheta kevalo nirgunasya, says the shloka of Upanishad. Even though this atma is nirvikara, nirguna, nirvishesha, but he is sakshi, he is witnessing what we are doing entire life. There is a recorder within our body which records all our acts, whether it is sin or it is good deeds. It is recording everything. So when you are wearing the costume of Arjuna, you perform your duty. So you cannot leave your duty and run out from the battlefield. So O Arjuna, have the full knowledge and fight the war, says Krishna. And Bhagini, I'll stop it here today, and 15 minutes we'll give for Parayana.
Next sloka I can read.
Yes?
Next sloka, can I read next sloka?
No, reading is not required. I'll stop the class here, and
Oh.
Bhaginis will start Parayana.
Bhagini,
Okay,
from
okay.
which shloka,
Astu,
Bhagini?
Ma'am.
21st, 22nd,
21st.
yeah?
21st. Dhanyamada.
21st.
Bhagini, read Mangala Shloka and then start Parayana.
Astu, Bhagini. 1 second.
Lata Ganesh Bhagini is asking, Bhagini, the message disappeared. She wanted that.
Bhagini.
Which shloka, Bhagini?
Bhagini, you just now told about from the Upanishad Sakshi Cheta about the Atma.
Yes, that is a shloka from Shweta Shatoropanishad. Eko devaha sarva bhuteshu buddhaha कर्माध्यक्षः सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा साक्षी चेता केवलो निर्गुणश्च. It is a very nice shloka, Bhagini. Eko Devaha, there is only one God. You call it by any name. Our Upanishads say that there is only one God. And then Eko Devaha Sarva Bhuteshu Gudaha. He is hidden in each and every individual. And Karyadhyakshaha, he is the president. And then Sakshi, and he witnesses. Cheta, he is the Chaitanya, he is the energy within and around us. And then Nirgunaha, he is not having any vikaras or any gunas. And he witnesses. That is the thing there. Sakshi. So that is a shloka from the Upanishad.
Sakshi.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you send that shloka on the group, ma'am?
Yes, Bhagini. Yes, I'll send. Okay.
Astu.
Dhanyavada. Sukanya,
Dhanyavada.
read the shloka.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Sanmangalani Bhavantu. Om. अस्तु भगिनि, धन्यवादः सर्वेभ्यः. 21st श्लोकः नो भगिनि. First